Well, them is his titles. It's all respect. Like I told everybody for a long time. I'm like, man, me and Canelo. I got a ton of respect for Canelo. I'm a fan of Canelo. I've always been a fan of Canelo, and I wanted to be the one to give him back his belts. I didn't want my team to hand him back his belts. I wanted to be the one to give him back his belts.
Yeah. The only thing I told him was that you could not give Canelo the center of the ring. And earlier you gave it to him, but then you started outboxing him and outsmarting him with it, and he started taking it back at the right time. So he studied the film very well. He knew when to fight, when to move left, and when to move right. It was a very smart fight. He completely frustrated Canelo.
The only thing I wonder is if Crawford was born and made in a laboratory, in a test tube, because that was science. That was pure science. No two ways.
The crowd had just witnessed a moment destined to echo through boxing history. Terence Crawford's stunning victory over Canelo Alvarez left fans in disbelief, experts speechless, and the atmosphere electric, the feeling of a new era dawning in the sport. Amid the celebration, Crawford's father stepped forward with quiet confidence, saying, "I always knew my son had this in him." It wasn't surprise in his voice, but certainty, a reflection of years of sacrifice, hard work, and unwavering belief only a father could hold. His words became a powerful reminder that greatness is never built overnight but forged over time. And before the buzz could fade, Roy Jones Jr. added his own perspective, lending the weight of a legend who instantly recognizes true greatness when he sees it.
Absolutely, I picked Canelo because I thought he was so much bigger, almost three weight divisions above him. But the majesty and poise of Terence Crawford's brilliance tonight was to the fore. I had it 9 rounds to 3. I can just about see 8 rounds to 4, the 16-12 score. I cannot see 7 rounds to 5 from 2 of the judges. Terence Crawford tonight, speed of thought, speed of hands, speed of feet, took it to Canelo when he had to. Canelo had no answers to him. For me, Terence Crawford moves up to the number 1 pound for pound spot in the sport right now, above Naoya Inoue, above Alexander Usyk. He is incredible to become historically a 3-weight undisputed world champion. It just beggars belief what he's managed to do. He was immense tonight. He took it with humility. There was a little bit of emotion afterwards, but from first to last, I have to say it, Canelo did not have the answers for him. So let's take nothing away from Crawford. It was all of his doing.
Oh, absolutely.
He was the one that made Canelo look older, slower.
Jones's words weren't just commentary. They were a seal of approval from one of boxing's greatest minds, adding even more weight to Crawford's triumph. This wasn't empty hype. It was acknowledgement, the kind that endures in the history books. Crawford's victory went beyond the scoreboard, becoming a benchmark measured against the legends themselves. Almost immediately, the conversation shifted to where he ranks among the all-time greats. Then came the voice of veteran analyst Gareth A. Davies, a figure known for dissecting the sport with precision, whose reaction carried both astonishment and authority, perfectly framing the scale of what had just unfolded.
Schooled him. He schooled him from start to finish.
Him.
Listen, it was cagey at the start, don't get me wrong. There was a little bit of nip and tuck, there was a little bit of downloading the data, seeing what the situation is. Interesting that for the full 12 rounds, he only boxed in southpaw. No switch hitting tonight, stayed in southpaw. A little bit of downloading of the data, and then just gradually went through the gears up to round 4, and that's when he started to put his foot down. Everything Canelo did tonight, Bud Crawford had a...
That reaction went beyond simple praise. It read as a technical evaluation delivered with surgical clarity. Every observation showcased Crawford's command of the ring and his ability to excel in every phase of the fight. From a seasoned observer's perspective, it was not empty flattery but first-hand proof. Crawford's victory was not framed as an upset. It registered as a masterclass. In that instant, his claim to the summit of boxing greatness felt indisputable. Shortly after, Adam Catterall offered his analysis with the same cold precision. His breakdown carried less emotion and more hard truth, illustrating how Crawford systematically dismantled a reigning champion step by step.
Only that, if you go back and watch the previews that we did throughout the course of the week, we said that this is a game of IQ. There's going to be movement within the fight. You're going to have to answer different types of questions and bring different types of game plan. Crawford did that. He was able to do it backwards. He was able to do it forwards. He could trade in the pocket, catch the stuff, and then counter. He was absolutely magnificent. Listen, I know this is raw and we've only just walked out the stadium, right?
10 minutes ago.
And when the dust settles on this, we'll probably have better answers and better thought processes. And I'm sure people watching this will get stuck into the comments and maybe say what I'm about to say is quite outlandish. That might be the single best performance that I have ever witnessed live. It was absolutely tremendous. You've got to take into consideration the weight jump. This is a man that was champion at 135, 140, 147, and obviously recently at 154. But let's be honest, he even jumped up to 154 pounds for that. To go then up to 168 and take on the former pound-for-pound #1 king on a Mexican holiday weekend.
Adam's final point underscored the total control Crawford held from the opening bell to the closing seconds. He wasn't merely edging rounds, he was dictating the rhythm, the space, and the entire story of the fight. His analysis captured the absolute completeness of Crawford's display. No gaps, no hesitation, no questions left unanswered. It was the purest form of a masterclass, one that elevated Crawford's legacy even higher. And Adam didn't stop there. He drilled into the subtle, technical details that explained why this performance stood apart from so many others. His commentary carried the unmistakable energy of someone who knew they'd just witnessed a moment destined to be remembered in boxing history.
Weight jump. This is a man that was champion at 135, 140, 147, and obviously recently at 154. But let's be honest, he even jumped up to 154 pounds for that. To go then up to 168 and take on the former pound-for-pound #1 king on a Mexican holiday weekend in Las Vegas and managed to beat him on the cards when the judges tried to do him. Mate, it is out of this world what Terence Crawford just did. And he needs all the flowers in the world. He needs all the praise in the world. And I don't think you're wrong, mate, by saying he's the pound-for-pound #1. It's an ever-moving list. That performance alone deserves to put him right at the top.
This wasn't commentary just to fill airtime. It was genuine reverence for a performance that elevated the standard of elite boxing. Crawford's ability to adjust, respond, and remain in total command throughout the fight was painted as a living masterpiece. Adam framed the night as something far beyond a single win, calling it a rare exhibition of skill that would be etched into memory as one of the sport's defining moments. By stepping back and examining the broader impact of Crawford's rise, he transformed the victory into something larger, a turning point in boxing history rather than just another marquee bout. He reminded viewers of Crawford's daring leap in weight, the stacked odds, and the magnitude of performing on boxing's biggest stage of the year. This wasn't just about defeating Canelo, it was about conquering circumstances seemingly built to stop him. Adam's framing elevated Crawford from victor to history maker, etching the win as one of the sport's monumental achievements worthy of every accolade. Then came Paulie Malignaggi, whose opening remarks pushed the night even further into legend. Rather than simply recounting the fight, Paulie framed the entire evening as a chapter destined for boxing's history books, capturing the gravity of what fans had just witnessed.
Crawford really boxed very, very well, very, very intelligently. The question mark was what happens when Crawford gets hit cleanly. I'm not sure he got hit cleanly at the whole fight. You know, he got hit with some partial shots. Some shots landed cleanly, but by the time Canelo started landing anything cleanly, I think he was hesitant because he was getting countered so much that he was taking some of the steam off the shots in order to hope to be more accurate. Because even late in the fight, there were a couple of shots that Canelo landed, but they barely moved Crawford, you know. There were some good body shots Canelo was throwing, but Crawford started countering those very, very well. I think the key point started coming once after the first round. Crawford shifted a lot and moved a lot. I wanted to just kind of see where Canelo's power was at. He caught a couple of shots on the gloves, and I think there came a point in the first 1 or 2 rounds where Crawford said, this guy's not as strong as I thought, because he started seeing Crawford hold his ground more and more, and he started seeing Crawford, you know.
And he drew attention to what truly mattered: Crawford's accomplishment and the calm, professional way he carried himself. It wasn't about theatrics or showmanship, but about pure control and authority. Paulie painted the picture of a fighter who has quietly built one of the sport's most complete resumes, a career defined not only by victories, but by rarely conceding even a single round. He then dug deeper into the strategy, showing that his breakdown wasn't just about what Crawford executed, but about the intelligence behind every move, illustrating how each punch, adjustment, and angle was part of a larger plan that only a fighter of Crawford's caliber could carry out.
Do a lot of catching and shooting. You got to be willing to take the shot, even if you're going to block it. If a guy's a big puncher, even blocking it can be uncomfortable. And Crawford started getting comfortable catching and shooting, especially when Canelo tried to go to the body. Crawford was catching the shots and coming back with the counters. Sharp shots. Crawford never loaded up, but he was sharp the whole night. Sharp with the jab, sharp with the counters, some well-placed body shots as well. Canelo landed here and there. I thought Canelo got really frustrated. I felt that headbutt was a little bit more than accidental, to tell you the truth. When he cut Crawford, I thought there was a little bit more of frustration, because the headbutt may have been accidental, but then you saw Canelo kind of dig his head in Crawford's face. So I thought there was some frustration from Canelo's perspective, because he ran out of.
Every adjustment and counter revealed a fighter completely in command, with Paulie emphasizing how even when Canelo searched for openings, Crawford neutralized every threat with impeccable timing and precise execution. It was a showcase of boxing intelligence at its peak. According to him, Crawford didn't merely endure the fight. He actively controlled and broke down his opponent from the opening bell. Paulie then highlighted Crawford's sharpness, illustrating how his growing dominance began to frustrate and unsettle Canelo throughout the bout, turning the match into a clear demonstration of tactical superiority.
Canelo has been down in his career. He has not shown an ability to both make an adjustment nor go for it and put his balls on the line. Not saying he's got no heart. Obviously, Canelo's been a very good fighter. I'm just saying there's a reason why the Mexican greats all have criticism for this guy. You know, Marquez, Morales, Barrera, and he's done disrespectful things to them, like not getting, like, block their credentials from his fights and things of that nature, not let them cover fights. This is what they're talking about, dude. Every time this guy is behind, every time this guy needs to put his balls on the line, he just cruises to a decision loss and is content to do it. And then afterwards says, Viva Mexico Cabrones, and his groupies just appease him and clap. These guys come from a different cloth. You know, the Mexican machismo of the old school greats in Mexican boxing is a different level. Not everyone is expected to live up to it, but the Mexican fighters themselves that did live up to it, they expect the new ones to live up to it. So when they don't, naturally they're going to express that. And of course, there's been some criticism from those kind of guys. And I'm not saying Canelo hasn't done some really good things, guys. It's not that. You can criticize a guy and still say he's been a good fighter and all this other stuff. But I think tonight, once again,
picture was unmistakable, with Crawford landing precise shots at perfect moments, relying not on sheer power but on discipline and strategy. Paulie highlighted how Canelo, running out of options, began resorting to rougher tactics that only revealed his growing frustration. Meanwhile, Crawford remained calm and collected, turning every exchange into a statement of dominance. Paulie didn't hold back in assessing Canelo's composure under pressure, delivering an analysis that was honest, direct, and firmly grounded in the reality of what unfolded in the ring.